Hey, Kerry here, Best of Us Investors. Why do we do this? Why do we follow the stock market, at least for me, on a daily basis? Some of you have asked that question. Kerry, if you've got all that money that you say you do, why do you mess with it? Why don't you're 76 years old? Why don't you retire and just not mess with it anymore? I guess it's a competitive thing. I need to measure myself. That's why I run in the Senior Olympics. I need to keep myself challenged. The portfolio I manage for my YouTube channel, I was looking at it. In 2018, it was $400,000. January 2019, it was 518. So had about a 29% increase. January in 2020, it was 850. That's a 63%. That's a good bump, almost over a double. Today, it's at 1 million. And so it's grown actually 20% since the 1st of January. If it continues at that pace, it'll be at 2.9 million in January of 2022 and giving me a 187% increase. So I feel good about it. It makes me feel good. It makes me happy. It gives me something to do. And it keeps me current with the world that I live in. Nita says I talk too much about it and people's eyes glass over, but I enjoy it. That's why I do it. I think what gives me the advantage is I don't look in the past. I don't consider what a company did last year. I'm really not concerned about their earnings. What I'm concerned about is where are they positioning themselves for the future. And I think I've hit on a group of companies in the 3D space that really exemplifies how I invest and how I think you should invest. So let's dig a little deeper into that today. It will be a little retrospective as to how I made the decisions, but I think it can help you in understanding what you need to do in order to be successful at investing. And if you choose to spend some time at it, then you might as well be successful at it. I'll be right back.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
I recognized, I guess it was sometime in late December or November, that the most important event that is happening in my lifetime is the coronavirus. It is changing the playing field in many respects. It will no doubt change the medical playing field. But something I think that most people have overlooked is the panic that went through our country in March, April, and May when we realized we didn't have any PPE and we didn't have any ventilators. And our car factories had to shut down because they didn't have parts. And we recognized, I'm sure they recognized in the Pentagon, that we were very vulnerable, that cybersecurity certainly was something, but if we got hit by cybersecurity or we got hit by another pandemic as a biological weapon, we would be brought to our knees. We would say, "What do you want?" And they'd say, "Texas," because we want the oil, and we'd give them Texas and try to get back up on our feet. We would literally, this country woke up in the winter of last year that we're prey. We're sitting ducks waiting to be knocked off. So I recognize that, and so I started doing some research on it, and so I started looking into who took the supply chain, and I realized it was China. I don't think that was a revelation. So I said, okay, why did they take the supply chain? And they took it basically because we wanted cheaper products. We put our security secondary to our greed and our want to satisfy our needs for as cheap as we can. Literally, I just told you the story of the baby boomer generation, of which I am a leading part of. So I recognize that in order to correct this, and if health is the number one priority, security has to be the number two, or vice versa. And in order to do that, we had to bring manufacturing back to the United States. I then dug in deeper and I found that China, as a result of their increasing wages, was losing their advantage to the United States for producing cheaper products, and they were converting their factories to robots and 3D printing. And I said to myself, well, if they can reduce the cost of their production through robots and 3D printing, why can't we? The only advantage they had over us was not technology, it was labor. And if they're eliminating labor in China, why can't we do the same thing in the United States and result that we bring manufacturing back to the United States? So again, I watched videos, I did some reading, and what I found they were doing is, as I said, replacing people with robots, replacing foundries with 3D printing. And so I went out to look for the opportunities. Now, you got to understand 3D printing is what they call additive. You create a machine that basically adheres metals, resins, sand, whatever, into a form by literally printing it over and over, and then washing, and then adding an adhesive, then putting that finished product, once you've thrown away the dust or move aside the dust, in a furnace, and then create that. Whereas in the past, that would have been a block of steel, and it would be chiseled and grind and formed into a gear. That gear can now be printed for probably 50% less than what it could have been formed. Also, it's being done by a machine rather than a human being. A machine can work 24/7, 365 days a year. It never will get pregnant. It will never get sick. It doesn't need a retirement program, and it doesn't need health insurance. So the labor factor goes away. Thus goes China. Thus goes Vietnam. Thus goes South America. So my realization is that I needed to invest in 3D printing. So as a result of that, I found 4 companies. I found these companies on January the 4th of this year. 3D Systems, ticker DDD, Desktop Metals, ticker DM, X1, ticker XONE, and Nano Dimensions, ticker NNDM. Overall, since January 4th, I am up 260% on these 4 stocks. The biggest one, the biggest leader, is X1. I'm up 418%, followed by DDD, 405, and the poorest performer is Nano Dimensions, and I'm up 80% on that. So is it too late to get in? No. This is the birth of the manufacturing world. In my thumbnail, I said 3D printing is going into orbit. If you remember, I did a video on February the 6th, and I said I was getting into the SPAC for Astra. And Astra is a a rocket company that is shooting rockets on a daily basis. That's their plan for anybody who needs a satellite up in the sky. Well, where are they going to get these rockets? I think they're going to get the rockets from another 3D company that I believe is going to change the perspective of rockets. It's a company by the name of Realitivity Space. Realitivity Space. It's a private company. I would speculate that this company, Realitivity Space, will come together in some form with Astra, because this Realitivity Space can print a 3D rocket in 60 days. You heard me right. They can print a 3D rocket ready for launch in 60 days. So you go to them and you say, hey, I own a trucking company here in the United States, and I want to put a satellite into the sky so that I can track through 5 and 6G my trucks moving around the country because they don't have any drivers in them and they're autonomous. And I need the ability to make sure that I don't lose track of them. So you go to Astra, they go to Realitivity Space and get a rocket printed, and 60 days later, your satellites are up in the sky. That's tomorrow. That's what's going to happen. What I'm saying to you is this is a space you need to get into. Now, there are other companies that I haven't pursued, tickers SSYS, VJET, ticker VJET, and Proto Labs, PRLB. I haven't pursued them. I haven't looked into them. I will. I would invite you to as well, and I'd invite you to share your findings. How do you do that? That's basically how I found these four 3D stocks. I have a Discord. We call it our tribe. We're up to about 18,000 people now who come on a daily, weekly, whatever basis and share their knowledge. I think of it as if I were a investment fund, if I was Fidelity Investments, and I had 15,000 analysts or interested people who feed me information. Now, what I am doing with that information is I'm building a team of analysts, of 5 people all over the world, and I'm providing them through a partnership with Seeking Alpha, their Seeking Alpha's premium package. And we collectively, with the help of the CEO, David Jackson, are learning to use Seeking Alpha to its extreme. And we are then going to put those 5 people together and have them analyze the stocks that the 15,000 are feeding to us, and then sitting as a panel and doing maybe a 5-minute video of this is what we found about XYZ stock, and this is our recommendations on it. What I'm trying to do is give my tribe more knowledge so that they can make better investment decisions. We're not trying to become their financial advisor. We're trying to become their information source. And then what I want to do is educate them once they get the information and make the good investment decision. I need to educate them on how to keep more of what they make. So I'm meeting this week with an accounting firm, my accountants, and saying, hey, I want you to teach my tribe how to use our tax system to their advantage. And they will be, if we come to an agreement, they will be doing videos on that. Then I want to create a partnership with a financial planning firm, because you need to know more, not only about what to invest in, but how to invest in. That is to say, should it be in an IRA? Should it be a Roth IRA? If you got children, should it be in a 529 program so that you have tax advantages to when they go to college? There's just an awful lot more to this game than investing. So I want you to have a place to go, and that is Best of Us Investors, that you can get your questions answered. And you can have faith that nobody's trying to scam you, that nobody's trying to get into your pocket and take your money. Because again, if we all share, we've seen what sharing can result. We've seen how sharing, what is it called, Wall Street bets, can level this playing field, can take those hedge funds that have been screwing us for the last 10 years and say, oh yeah, take this one. So that's what this is all about. That's how the game is changing. Much as how the internet has affected almost every industry except Wall Street, the game is changing. So, with the help of other people, you too can have 260% return on your investment in 30 days. It's all about knowledge. It's all about coming together and collectively using our knowledge for the betterment of the group. So, if you want to become part of the tribe, the group, go to Best of Us Investors, leave me your name and your email address, and I'll send you a link to our Discord. Now you can enter our tribe. Once you get in our tribe, you can just exchange ideas, or you can pay for the premium channel, which is $10 a month, and you can see my portfolio. You can see the 5 guys who are doing the analysts, and you can see what they're recommending. This isn't there yet. We're building that. And why am I doing this? I started this video saying I don't really need the money. I need to help you. I need to share the knowledge. I need to walk away. No, I need to be hauled off, put in the ground, and realize that I made a difference. That's what's important to me, to help you get what I've got, where I have no financial concerns. Nita and I don't worry anymore. We used to. I remember the time I negotiated with the credit card companies to take 10 cents on the dollar because I was going down. It hasn't always been this way. How have I gotten this way? I read. I just don't understand anybody who won't go to my library at Best of Us Investors and check out a book and say, wow, that's how this economy occurred. Wow, that's what the future's going to look like. Why wouldn't you do that? Okay, talk to you tomorrow.